number 4. It says water meters shall be furnished, maintained, and replaced by city. A title to the water meters shall remain in the township if installed after this agreement is signed. Common sense tells us it is important for us to put all township customers entirely into the township water system. This would include water meters as well. Should the township ever decide to build its own treatment facility or ever decides to enter into a wholesale agreement, the township will need these meters to support the township water system. The township needs to buy back all previously installed meters at the depreciated value in order to place township customers back under township authority. It is imperative that we do not lose sight of the fact that if this proposal becomes a signed document, it could very well bind the township for nearly a century. I cannot speak on behalf of the entire board, but in my opinion, it would be wrong for this board to bind their hands or bind the hands of future boards for generations to come. Page 3, number 6, I wrote that your number 5. I believe it's about the middle of the paragraph. It states, the township shall be deemed to own that portion of the water distribution system within the township that pre-existed this agreement when the township substantially repairs or replaces such system. This means current customers would not divert back to the township until pipes and etc. are replaced. That could be 100 years. What if the city arbitrarily replaced them? Water infrastructure the city has placed in Owosso Township belongs to Owosso Township because the city never had township approval to place the infrastructure in our township in the first place. Page 3, number 1, that would be your number 6. Township further agrees that city shall have full access to all of its streets, rights-of-way, and utility easements within said water district for the purposes of repairs and maintenance to the water system. City shall give notice to township for any projects which streets will be closed for repairs to water system, and notice to the township when water is provided to any township legal entity. Obviously, this should be number 8, not number 1. The purpose of the city to use township rights-of-way should specifically state for the repairs and maintenance to the township water system only. The words districts needs to be deleted. Per the city distribution map, it shows a water main boundary on township incorporated land. These are not boundaries, these are water mains on township incorporated land. The language after the comma in the last sentence is irrelevant to the rest of the paragraph. It is ambiguous and is similar to number 3 on page 2. It states the township will only be noticed when a legal entity connection is made. My concern is that a legal entity would contract separately with the city, and it would only be necessary for the city to notice the township of that connection. Again, the township would not collect any fees should that happen. Common sense tells us the township needs to make it very clear that all township legal entities remain under control of the township water system. Page 5, number 13, third sentence, your number 7. Further, it is provided that if it appears that an area within the supply system is contaminated and township fails to timely act after notice from city under township ordinance to isolate said contamination, then city shall have the right to shut off water service or isolate the same as city shall deem necessary for the protection of the general health, safety, and welfare of the public. We naturally need to add township before the water supply system. The committee has not supplied the board with language regarding what fails to timely act consists of. I prefer to know what our responsibilities are before signing. My concern is that the city would have the right to permanently shut off the water supply to the township and possibly place it under the auspices of the city. It should state that the city has the right to temporarily shut off the water service or isolate until the contamination has been remedied. Page 5, number 15, I marked that your number 8. It states the contract shall automatically renew for 2 30-period extensions. Obviously, this needs to specifically state 2 30-year extensions. Page 6, number 4, your number 9, upon the implementation of provisions of an agreement between city and township, pursuant to which the city would provide water to township on a wholesale basis. I remain uncomfortable with this language. I prefer it to specifically state, upon the implementation of a wholesale agreement initiated by the township, and the city could not deny the township a wholesale agreement. Page 6, number 17, second sentence, rates, your number 10. This provision was added December 4th, 2009. That township customers will pay 2 times the rate that city customers pay. Double rates will capture more money for the city than just the unit price of water. A cost comparative for a business in our industrial park appears to look like this. Keep in mind, a unit of township water equals 1,000 gallons. A unit of city water equals 750 gallons. One of our businesses in the township currently used in third quarter of 08, used 6 units. That came to $15. They were billed for a 1-inch line, that was $60. They were billed a 6-inch line, that's $210, and hydrant rent was $60. Their total quarterly bill was $345. When I look up the city, it appears that 6 units there would have to go to 8 units because of the difference in the gallons. That came to $19.20. The 1-inch demand line charge is $112.50. A 6-inch line is $2,250. Hydrant rent is also suggested that the township puts an additional hydrant rent on that. Their bill for a quarterly would be $2,381.70 plus the hydrant fee. That is a $2,036.70 increase per quarter, or an additional $8,146.80 per year for just one business in our industrial park. More if we add a hydrant fee on top of that. Late fee charges for the city is 10%. The township currently charges 3%. I question why we would allow the city to charge our industrial park customers double rates for the pipes that service our businesses when they are township installed and owned pipes. You can see Exhibit 3 for that. As a direct result of the verdict in the Oneida case, Supervisor Miller and Trustees Krakovic and Schultz now feel it is okay for the city to charge us double rates. Though the statute used in the Oneida case did not apply to Owosso Township, I emailed questions and concerns to Attorney Fahey, who fought the Oneida case. His response was, if you are looking at a new water agreement, even though the statute does not apply, there is still a lot of case law holding that a city cannot charge higher rates outside the city unless those rates are based on higher costs to serve residents outside the city. An arbitrarily 2 times or 1/2 time rate factor is not reasonable under applicable case law unless it can be substantiated based on higher costs. Our negotiating committee has not provided the formula that substantiates the need for double rates. You can see Exhibit 1, page 2 and 3 in the Headley Amendment, and Exhibit 4 from Mr. Fahey. All costs for maintenance, repair, replacement, system storage, and etc. to deliver water to city customers are included in the single rates that the city customers pay. Double rates obligate township residents to pay duplicated costs for such service. I say this, in my opinion, this is price gouging for the purpose of increasing city revenue. I say this because the City Council minutes of January 3rd, 2005 state, explore alternate sources of revenue. In general, Council seems reluctant to impose new taxes or fees for existing customers. Exploring alternate sources of revenue, then, contemplates creative endeavors to utilize organizational capabilities to generate additional funds. Such endeavors might involve the production of a product or service based on unique strengths that might be in demand by others outside Owosso's jurisdictional boundaries. To be of value, these sources of revenue must exceed the city's cost of producing the service. You can see that with Exhibit 5.